Well, hello out there, everybody. This is Marvelous Mark from the Off the Rope Show. As you can tell, I've got my Shawn Michaels T-shirt on. I just came back from Des Moines, where tonight down at the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines, Iowa, they had a Smackdown house show down there. And with that, I will kind of go over what happened, and I will let you know what I thought of it. And we'll start now. Okay, so the opening contest tonight was a matchup of two former partners who were WWE Tag Team Champions a couple years ago in the Nexus. Justin Gabriel against the one-man band Heath Slater. Actually, this wasn't a bad opener. The more I see of Justin Gabriel, the more I think of him as a poor man's AJ Styles, actually, because he's got to have some kind of a gymnastic background as well, and he does a lot of the things he does kind of. And it was a decent opener. Slater got plenty of heat, especially when he was doing his but finish came when not Slater, but Gabriel came off the rope and he kind of did an AJ Styles inverted DDT and got the victory. So it was a decent match to start with the show, I thought. Okay, the second match was a Divas match between Alicia Fox and Natalya. Well, if the WWE really give a shit about their Divas division, Natalya should be at or near the top of the Divas division, but since they don't, Alicia Fox went over and it's a bunch of crap. The end. Alright, next was Ryback against Jinder Mahal. And I will tell you what, the Feed Me More chant was really over down in Des Moines. It was really over in the Wells Fargo Arena tonight. But I guess Jinder got a little bit of offense in, but really this one was more or less a glorified squash. Ryback won with his finisher. Feed me more. Feed me more. I'll tell you what, that chant's getting really over really fast, and I don't think he's going to be in the mid card for too long. It might be 6 to 9 months or so. Hopefully they don't do this too fast, moving right back up the card. But I think it's going to happen sooner than later, folks. Well, you can't even get away from God at a house show. Because right after the Ryback Jinder Mahal match, they showed that segment of God. They showed that Triple H segment where he's trying to sell that he's gonna retire. And if you believe that, I've got a few acres of swampland I'd like to sell you down in Florida. You know Triple H isn't gonna retire. At least not right now. Not after Survivor, or not Survivor Series, but SummerSlam. He's gonna go out in the main event of WrestleMania. Whenever he decides to retire, he ain't going nowhere. Okay, next we had a tag team match between a guy who's not so perfect and Michael McGillicuddy and a guy who I didn't even think was still on the roster. NXT winner season 4, Johnny Curtis. Ooh. There's a reason why you're buried on Superstars, because you fucking suck. They won against the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso. And the Usos were actually pretty kind of over in this match. And the Usos won. They won. And they look like a homage to the Lady Umaga with that, where they catch the guy in a Samoan drop, but that's how they won. Usos won. And I'm not going to do a Samoa Love dance, because I'm not a very good dancer, and I don't think people would want to see that anyway, so Usos won. We'll just leave it at that. Alright, then you had Randy Orton against Dolph Ziggler. And the one thing that was missing in this match was no Vicky Guerrero. If Vicky Guerrero would have been there, I wouldn't have been able to hear myself think because she would have been booed out of the fucking building. But as it was a pretty standard Orton and Ziggler match. Orton was really over down in Des Moines tonight. He was probably the second most over wrestler on the card, and I'll get to the first later on. But it was about what you would expect out of an Orton-Ziggler match. And Orton won with a RKO out of nowhere. So it was about what you would expect. Alright, then they had an intermission for 15 minutes, and then when they come back from intermission, we got the return of Wade Barrett. The Barrett Barrage is starting up again. He won against Tyson Kidd. This is actually a pretty decent match. I think when they're gonna bring Barrett back to TV, they've been doing vignettes about him in the last few weeks on Raw and SmackDown. But I think if they're gonna give him this gimmick as being a kind of where he's going back to his roots as a bare knuckle fighter, I think if they're gonna do this right, they're gonna have to have him win by knockout or maybe by referee stoppage or something. If they want to kind of get this gimmick of his over, he won with some kind of a forearm roaring elbow type of shot or something like that, and he got the pinfall on Kidd. He didn't use Wasteland. I'm guessing maybe he's not going to use that anymore with this new gimmick. But anyway, Barrett won as he should have, I thought. Okay, next we had a triple threat match for the U.S. title. The champion Antonio Cesaro and with Oksana. Oksana looks hotter in person than on TV. TV does not do her justice. I'm just going to say that. Then it was versus Sin Cara and Cody Rhodes. I would have thought that Cody Rhodes and Sin Cara would have had their own match, not been part of a triple threat with Claudio. But anyway, Claudio retains after Sin Cara does a tornado DDT onto Rhodes, and basically Cesaro picks the bones and he gets the pinfall over Cody Rhodes. Boy, God, Cody's doing more jobs than a temp lately. I'm serious. But actually, as far as triple threat matches go, this is actually pretty good. It was pretty fast paced and all, but Antonio got the win, and it's like, you don't expect the title to change hands at a house show now, do you? This isn't 1994 when Kevin Nash took the WWF title from Mr. Bob Backlund in 8 seconds, so there you go. Okay, but then we get to the main event, which is Sheamus against Alberto Del Rio. And before the card started, there was a kind of like a little poll where you could text a certain number to pick what the stipulation's going to be. Number 1 was street fight, or number 2 was 2 out of 3 falls. And more often than not, you would have thought it would have been a street fight, because like very early on it was like 65 to 35 in favor of the street fight. But I'm thinking somebody must have finagled the voting or something, because it ended up being a 2 out of 3 fall match. It's like, I myself would have liked to seen a street fight, but I guess it just is what it is. But anyway, ADR won fall number 1 with, I didn't really see what he did, I just saw that he won. It looked like it was pretty legit. I don't know, but anyway. Sheamus won fall 2 with a roll up after ADR won for his cross arm breaker. And then come around the third fall, that's when you got to see more of the more of the normal spots that they get in, especially with Sheamus. Got in his 10 of doom, you know. But anyway, it came down to botched interference by Ricardo, and Sheamus ends up hitting the Brogue Kick to retain the title. I would have thought maybe that Dolph Ziggler maybe would have tried to cash in Money in the Bank, but he didn't get beat down after the match, so I could see why that didn't happen. Sheamus retains, as he should have. Okay, final thoughts on this show. I thought it was decent, but there was no Vicky Guerrero here, so I wouldn't have been able to hear myself think if she was. But that said, where was she? And only 2 of the heels won tonight. Claudio retaining the U.S. title. That was to be expected. And Wade Barrett in his return before he comes back to TV. So that's no surprise there. And I get that you want to send the crowd home happy. That's why Sheamus won, and that's why Orton won, and but otherwise, I don't really have too many gripes about the show, other than the fact that maybe Sin Cara and Cody Rhodes could have had their own match. You didn't have to throw Cesaro into the mix, but anyway. I am Marvelous Mark, and I will see you later.